my sarcastic tone. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the sample shown. Drunk fraternity guy, you got my asshole, bloodshot eyes. Get drunk and fight every night. Idolize Bradley, belittle women's rights. Homophobic, racist, and don't give a fucking hey. Do you think you can drive a bigger truck? So wear your baseball cap to decide to let everyone know that you're a nice guy. So cool, was so impressed. Lots of chicks in a barrel chest. Cause you're a real man. Punch for punch, gonna piss in your face while you're passed out drunk. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy, he's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy, she's a nice guy, but all of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planets. Oh, I just can't understand it. What could divine by deception and lies? Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off, I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off, read into the lyrics, cause everybody gets their just desserts. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first. Mr. Whitebeard, you're next on the list. Such a nice guy who speaks through his fists. Prick with a penchant for messing with heads. A broken nose for dinner and breakfast in bed. Alcoholic, paranoid, and suicidal too. But you'll probably kill her before she gets away from you. She rolls in a pool of blood and cry. All your friends say that you're a nice guy. Have a drink, this one's on me. Look, you're doing fine, losing to your disease. Comatose, I'll pack your bags. Bury you like cats ready to gag. Oh, I'm a nice guy, you're a nice guy. We're all nice guys, but all of you are assholes. He's a nice guy, she's a nice guy. Hey, Tom Bone's a nice guy. All of you are assholes. Nice guys rule the planet. The podcast put a body by deception and lies. Social Darwinism and an overdose of pride. Fuck off, jerk off, I don't wanna hear it. Fuck off, jerk off, read into the lyrics. So let the bloody spill quench your thirst. As long as you remember that nice guys finish first.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex. We do the show live on Sundays, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. Support this project at patreon.com/Echoplex or at eplex.store. Subscribe at the $5 or higher level and you get this whole show, including red light, sent to you the very next day, though you might not get this one tomorrow for various reasons. I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave, and this is what the people want.
I don't hate the cops. There's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch if you don't stop throwing your rocks. Snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Like your local police, cause they don't do nothing wrong like your local police. Got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. Follow the law, don't hate the the cops. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. If you didn't hate the cops, cause they don't do nothing wrong, don't hate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job, don't hate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops, don't hate the cops. 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 Don't hate the cops.
All right. Well, Donald Trump and JD Vance seem to have had a press conference, and we're gonna watch some clips from that. This is just the first of those clips. It's probably not very good, but it's, you know, it's a press conference.
People talk about balancing budgets. You can't balance a budget when people are stealing $19 billion and nobody's ever heard of anything like it. We had, I guess, in the same state, you went autism, where 4 or 5 years ago, they spent $1 million, and now it's almost $400 million in just a few years. Well, autism didn't go up like that. And even the 1 million was probably a fraud, but it went from 1 million to almost 400 million in just a few years. These are crooked people. They basically said everybody in the state had autism.
What?
Horrible people. And
I'm going to fucking go out on a limb here and say it's actually good if there was more funding to help people with autism. Not bad, right? Like, helping more people isn't fraud. You know, there might be some waste and there might be fraud or abuse or whatever happening possibly, but helping more people with autism is a good. Giving those people more resources is good. And so I don't know. That's weird. This presser, it just gets weirder though. It just gets weirder. Here's another example of what was going on at that presser.
look at it, and I said, it's a piece of art, but how can it be effective? It's so stealth. Think of it, Peter. 1 a.m, it flies in, and they say, sir, they're in Iranian airspace. And I say, ooh, and I'm watching it.
I say, ooh. Hold on, we got to go back.
Space, and I say, ooh.
Fucking idiot.
Situation room with a couple of other very smart people, including some good generals, real generals, not television generals. And all of a sudden you see that dive, they start diving, and sure, and you see him 30,000, 20,000. Boy, I said, that was a lot. They went down fast to aim it. And they know they're coming, and they're smart, and they never saw him. And they're firing a little bit, but they don't know what they're firing at because they can't see a thing. And then you hear the biggest explosions that anybody's
They were tremendous.
biggest bombs.
Outside of nuclear, of course, which we're probably going to fucking do later because this guy's insane.
Biggest bombs. And you say, what technology we have. What a great country. I built it, largely, I built it during my first term. I built it. I didn't know I'd have to use it this much in my second term.
Fucking, those are the largest explosions, like not as big as the nuclear ones we're probably going to cause soon. We're going to start the end of the world, but they were the biggest explosions you've ever seen. Oh man, this guy wants so bad to be like a wartime president, like a like he's like he thinks he's a general or something. He ran on the idea that he was going to keep peaceful, but then as soon as the opportunity to be like, oh, I'm going to do a war, I'm going to be a tough war guy, I'm a tough war guy. And so then I think like the people in his orbit that were pro going into Iran probably gassed him up, but be like, this will be historic. You'll be like General Douglas MacArthur. You'll be like fucking Napoleon or whatever. I guess he probably wouldn't like Napoleon. Napoleon was short, but this guy. So here's more from this press conference.
First, Mr. Vice President, Democrats are already calling you the fraud czar. What's your reaction to that title? And then second,
Good title.
Second, given
I like
your
it.
past skepticism of foreign adventurism, are you completely on board with the current war in Iran?
So I like fraud czar. It's certainly what we're going to do. And look, we have to do it. As the president said, this is a problem that has festered in this country for far too long, and far too few people have actually wanted to do anything about it. That's what makes this administration different, is that we actually tackle the problems the American people have been confronting. So I'm very happy about it. And look, I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between members of the administration, between me and the president. What the president said consistently, going back to 2015, and I agreed with him, is that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon.
Wait, I thought y'all fucking blew up their nukes or whatever, like fucking last summer. I guess that was a lie, or now it's a lie. Maybe both fucking. Actually, it's probably likely that both things were a lie. They didn't blow it all up last summer, and like seriously, like ever since like the 80s, everybody's Iran's just a week away from getting a nuke.
We've taken this military action under the president's leadership. I think all of us, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, should pray for its success and pray for the safety of our troops. That's the approach that I've taken. Make it as successful as possible.
So there's no hesitation, given your past statements, with the current operation?
What do you mean there's no hesitation with my past statements?
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have
One big difference is that Donald Trump is doing it now, and I am his bitch.
We've had dumb presidents, and
We've had dumb Unlike the current president, the last presidents have been dumb.
Done to do a good job for the American people and to make sure that the mistakes of the past aren't repeated. Absolutely.
Thanks, sir.
So
JD's been doing exactly what I say. He's fucking telling me that I'm the best war president. This is all real bad. So we got more from this presser. This is Trump. Democrats are terrible. They're terrible people. Probably, I don't know. They love the Ayatollah. I don't know what he's going to say here. Democrats are terrible. Very bad. Worst people. Couldn't find anybody worse.
And it's terrible. The Democrats are terrible. You know, it'd be nice to get along, but for years this has been going on, not just with me. For years it's been going on. Different ideology, but also different tactics. Here we are, we're fighting big battles with a very tough enemy and winning nicely. We're not allowed to have...
Bigly, nicely.
It's crazy. The Democrats don't want to pay. These are bad people. These are not people that love our country, I can tell you that. They're very sick people. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Thank you, press.
Thanks for all the questions.
Thanks for all the questions. So that was the presser.
He said, that's what it is, Biden in 4 years.
That's right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
See you, sir. Thank you. We did have Stephen Miller said something during it, which I guess it's all out of order here because I am not a pro streamer, not a pro podcaster. Everything's out of order here. That's fine though. Here, I guess they let Stephen Miller talk, so we got to know what that fucking goblin said.
I believe, and I know President Trump believes, that when this theft is exposed, we will see that if all of it were stopped, it would be enough to balance the budget. The extraction of wealth from American taxpayers to people who don't belong here is the primary cause of the national debt, and this is the first ever effort to shut that down. Thank you, Mr. President.
First ever. And everyone knows
the national debt, as they're like fucking going on yet another foreign adventure. You got Stephen Miller here going, no, the national debt is because of the fucking, I don't know, they all look Mexican to me, but the fucking people that aren't supposed to be here. Those, I don't know, man, because those people, a lot of those people pay taxes and don't really get any services back from the federal government because they can't. So I don't think that's really true. So we're going to move on here. Tulsi Gabbard went in front of Congress, and a lot of people said that she kind of threw President Trump under the bus. I don't know if I believe that, but here's some clips of that. She is it's a 2026 annual threat assessment, I suppose.
I'm here today to present the 2026 Annual Threat Assessment and joined by my colleagues, the directors of the CIA, the DIA, FBI, and NSA. This briefing is being provided in accordance with ODNI's statutory responsibility. What I'm briefing here today does not represent my personal views or opinions, but rather the assessments of the intelligence community of the threats that facing the United States, our homeland, and our interests. In this assessment, we're following the structure of priorities that were laid out in the President's national security strategy, starting with threats to our homeland, and then shifting to global risks.
All right, great. This is weird because she's like, I'm not going to give you my opinion. These are all facts. And I think you have to, like, as the director of national intelligence, you probably, part of your job is actually to give your fucking opinion sometimes. So I think she's just one of these, oh, these are facts, and if you don't believe them, then you're wrong. We got, she's like, oh, the objectives of the president are different than those of the Israeli government. Well, that's good, I suppose. You would suppose that two different countries might have different objectives, might have different goals as far as how the world works. But I'm not sure because it's pretty lockstep. Let's see here.
So my question is, what does the intelligence community assess Israel's goals in this war to be? And are those goals aligned with the goals of the United States?
Come on, Tulsi.
I'm thinking carefully here about what can be said in this open setting versus...
She's like, I got to come up with a good lie. Got to come up with a good lie. Got to come up with a good lie. Got to come up with a good lie.
...setting.
Are the goals aligned?
The objectives that have been laid out by the president are different from the objectives that have been laid out by the Israeli government.
And how do they differ?
I'm sorry, that's classified. I'm not going to tell you.
We can see through the operations that the Israeli government has been focused on disabling the Iranian leadership and taking out several members, obviously beginning with the Ayatollah, the supreme leader. And they continue to focus on that effort.
And how does that differ from our goals?
The president has stated that his objectives are to destroy Iran's ballistic missile launching capability, their ballistic missile production capability, and their Navy, the IRGC Navy, and mine-laying capability.
So, like, those are sort of not, those aren't like goals that are in conflict. Those are just like I would say maybe two sets of goals that work well together, that are like they're like running side by side to each other. They don't cross. They don't like oppose each other. They're not like mutually exclusive in any sort of way. So I don't see how the goals are different. It's just two different specific goals, but the general thing is still the same. Up next, we got Gabbard is going to be asked if there was evidence that Iran planned to attack the United States before we started bombing them. Which she said that previously she said there was no evidence of this, but I bet she's got to now say that there was evidence of this.
Directors Gabbard and Ratcliffe, is there any evidence that Iran intended to conduct a preemptive attack on the United States? And I ask this because 13 service members have been killed in Trump's war, including Captain Seth Koval, a husband and a dad from my state of Indiana, and my constituents want answers. So is there any evidence that Iran intended to conduct a preemptive attack on the U.S. prior to beginning this war, yes or no?
Congressman, the answer to this question needs to be reserved for a closed hearing. I will say, however...
Wait, no. Yes or no. You could just say yes and then say, but the answer to the reason is that it's classified, which is, I mean, come on, that's what you're supposed to say here.
Community does provide the assessments of the threats that exist to the president so that he can make that determination within the body of information and intelligence and activities within the region that ultimately he is responsible for. What is an imminent threat, and if there is an imminent threat, what actions need to be taken?
You didn't. You just said you just almost like repeated the question back in a way, right? Well, the president's responsible for figuring out if there's an imminent threat and what action should be taken. No, the answer is the question was there an imminent threat? I think that means no, because she couldn't just say yes. Okay, this one looks like the same one. Pro fucking podcaster here. It looks like I have the same question twice on my list here. We got this next one here. This is something about voting machines in Puerto Rico. This ought to be interesting. I don't know that they were doing anything. I had no idea they were doing anything with voting machines in Puerto Rico, but I guess maybe they were.
Director, the ODNI has confirmed on the record that your office took custody of voting machines from Puerto Rico last May. I'm not aware of any previous DNI taking similar actions. Did your office promptly notify the committee about taking custody of Puerto Rico's voting machines?
I don't believe we did. However, this was done at the request of the Puerto Rico AUSA attorney.
It's a yes or no question.
The
answer, as you have acknowledged, is no. You did not inform the committee about the taking of a territory's voting machines. Is there a specific foreign threat? And I've read the reporting that you were looking for possible foreign threats, but is there a specific foreign threat that drove you to take this action?
There were questions about whether or not there were vulnerabilities that a threat could have taken advantage of, and that was the purpose for their requesting us to look into those vulnerabilities.
Where are those voting machines now?
I believe they are held in a secure facility at ODNI.
Have you or other ODNI officials taken any other state or territory's voting equipment into custody?
Not to my knowledge.
Why would they fucking take vote? We're going to check and see if there's vulnerabilities. Yeah, if they're running software or firmware, there are vulnerabilities. I mean, you know, every year that the Pwn to Own or at Black Hat, people can hack into voting machines like with physical access, but you can hack into anything if you have physical access to it. Next, this is like just an 8-second clip. I try not to do like clips that are this short, but this is pretty funny. So this is Trump being asked about 5,000 Marines being sent to the Middle East. Check this out.
See what happens.
Can you explain why we're sending 5,000 Marines and sailors? Can you explain why you're...
very obnoxious person. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
You're a very obnoxious person. How dare you ask me a question about the thing that I'm doing? Oh man, this is not great. We used to be a country. We weren't a great country, but we used to be a country. Here we go. Did you know that Trump just predicted everything? He even predicted 9/11 apparently. Here's him at some other press conference with Mike Johnson, and I don't know why. I've never heard the claim before that he predicted 9/11, but maybe I'm not a Trump expert, so.
I knew about the Strait, that it would be a weapon, which I predicted a long time ago, predicted all of this stuff. You guys were very generous in that. I predicted all of it. I predicted Osama bin Laden would knock out the World Trade Center. I made that prediction a year before he did it. I said, you better get him. He's a bad guy. I watched him be interviewed one time, and I said, that's a bad guy. You better get him. 1 year before, exactly. I wrote it in a book. You can even check about a year before the World Trade Center.
You think this motherfucker wrote a word of his book?
Came down. President Clinton actually had a shot at him, and he didn't take it. Unfortunately, I'm not blaming him for that, but he didn't take it.
Yeah, he's my Epstein homie. I'm not going to blame him for shit.
And he ended up knocking down the World Trade Center, but I predicted that too. I predicted a lot of things. We strongly encourage.
Predicted that. I predicted a lot of things. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, that wasn't like such a even if somebody did predict it, that wasn't such a good prediction because Al Qaeda had tried previously to blow up the World Trade Center. Usually the third time's a charm, but I guess the second time was a charm in this case. Here's Press Secretary Leavitt, I guess, talking about the president speaking to allies to encourage them to, I don't know, bomb Iran or something. As you can see, right next to her is footage of, I guess, something blowing up, which is fucking all right, whatever. This is Fox News, though. They got fucking footage of something blowing up probably on fucking loop over there. They love that shit. They love it the most.
So yes, the president is speaking with our allies in Europe and also many of our partners in the Gulf and Arab world to encourage them to step up to do more to open the Strait of Hormuz. And our NATO allies especially need to step up. Look, President Trump has been very, very frank with our friends in NATO for a very long time. He got them to increase their defense spending up to 5%, and now he's calling on them to do the right thing because, again, the United States of America is leading the way, not just to support and protect our American assets and bases in the Middle East, but also to defend Europe and the Middle East and the rest of the world from the rogue Iranian regime from obtaining a nuclear bomb.
Democrats. We're defending the whole world from fucking Iran, dude. Get out of here. The other fucking the member states of NATO, they don't want this. So this is good. I guess China's having some problems because a lot of their oil comes from Iran. So here we are on Fox Business, and I don't know if you know this, but maybe China will solve the problem that we created for them by bombing Iran. Who knows? Hopefully, China will solve this problem.
Look, China is a gigantic. I mean, I think they're the number one consumer of Iranian oil. And so China has a huge...
Oh, Larry Kudlow seems to be on the sauce.
I would think, in the outcome of the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, maybe Carg Island also, Jameson. Did anyone ever talk to them? Would they join the coalition to open the Strait of Hormuz that President Trump is trying to put together? We haven't had any luck with NATO.
That was me last night.
Most disappointing, and according to reports, the president is rightly furious at NATO. But what about China? Might China join that coalition? They have a big stake in the outcome.
Well, I don't know if they'll join, but I agree with you. I think they import 8 to 9% of their fossil fuels from the Gulf and certainly from Iran, and they make up a large buyer of Iranian.
8 or 9% isn't that much. I think China's a pretty big fucking country. They can just get their oil from somewhere else. I don't think it's a big deal to them.
Fuels. So you're right. They have a big stake in this. They have a strong interest in the war coming to a close quickly and in those straits being open. So our hope is that they'll be cooperative. Whether that means they're part of an operation or escorts in the straits, I can't tell you. But certainly it's important to them. And it's been interesting how cautious they've been on Iran.
I know they haven't said much. I've noted this before. We've had hardly a peep from the Chinese during this whole war period, which has gone so well for the U.S.
So Kudlow's on the sauce for sure. And I don't know. We haven't heard a peep from the Chinese. Well, they're not talking to you, man. They're like, don't call that guy. He's fucking day drinking again. I don't know. 8 or 9%. I mean, that's a lot of oil for a large nation like China, but I don't think it's I don't think it's a fucking big deal. I mean, they'd rather be able to get it than not, right? But I don't think it's a huge deal. I think they can make that up, or maybe they have reserves. I just don't think it's that huge a deal to them because they're not bothering anybody about it, like you said. So anyway, if the war were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy much at all. In fact, I don't know, maybe it'll make it better. That's what this guy is going to say. I think it's part of the same interview, actually. So we might get to see a little more of. Oh, nope, this isn't the same interview. No more drunk Larry Kudlow. But yeah, this is going to actually be great for the economy.
But the fact is that the U.S. economy is fundamentally sound, and that if it were to be extended, it wouldn't really disrupt the U.S. economy very much at all. It would hurt consumers, and we'd have to think about if that continued, what we would have to do about that. But that's like really the last of our concerns right now, because we're very confident that this thing is going ahead of schedule.
Yeah, it's gonna like hurt everybody out there, all the Americans. You're gonna have to pay more for everything, but we're not really concerned about that because we're bombing the shit out of somebody, and that's what's really important. And you should feel fucking patriotic about that. It's gonna hurt you, but that's not really my concern. Fucking when the tough gets going, the tough go shopping. So fucking max out your credit cards, buy gas you can't afford, do your thing. Here's another one of these. It's like, this is JD Vance. He's like, I don't know, man. You think you got it bad? At least bombs aren't falling on your neighborhood. This is amazing.
Is that we actually worked with a lot of our allies all over the world who are suffering from this, frankly, more than we are, because unlike the United States, where we've pursued an energy dominance agenda, you've got a lot of people all over the world who have focused on a lot of green energy scams, and they're hurting a lot more than we are. So as much as we got to focus on getting these gas prices down, the reality is overseas they're feeling it far worse than we did, because we've taken the steps to protect our energy economy. So for example, what we did working with these allies, is we released hundreds of millions of barrels out of all these petroleum reserves so that we could put some downward pressure on prices. We're working on a number of things. In fact, a couple of things that I think will be announced in just the next 24 to 48 hours. I don't want to get ahead of the president on that, but we recognize this is an issue. We are fighting against it, and we promise that when this conflict draws to a close, when this operation draws to a close, we're going to see those energy prices come back down to reality, because that's what the president promised to do. He delivered.
So he was like, oh, other nations focused on like diversifying their energy and like doing green energy. He called it a scam, but actually that puts them like in a better position probably, because they can get gasoline gas powered cars, but they can use other energy sources for other things. I don't see how it puts them in a worse position, like having solar energy or whatever. I don't see how it puts them in a worse position. They just hate fucking, I don't know. They hate not fucking lighting shit on fire and making a bunch of smoke to create energy, I guess. Up next, we got Pete Hegseth. He's accusing Iran of having an apocalyptic endgame. Not the country where the evangelicals think that this is literally the end of the world and that it's going to bring Jesus back or whatever. It's Iran. Iran's the crazy apocalyptic religious thing.
Their core industries, not steel or agriculture, or tourism. Their core industries are state-sponsored terrorism, proxy militias, underground networks, ballistic missiles, and a violent, messianic, Islamist ideology chasing some sort of apocalyptic endgame.
Wait, no, that's not true. We're the American evangelicals are the ones that think that's going to happen.
A regime like that, refusing to abandon its nuclear ambitions, is not just a regional problem. It's a direct threat to America, to freedom, and to civilization.
Freedom. Oh, this is all the apocalyptic endgame is America. That's this idea that we're going to bring about the second coming of Jesus Christ, and all the Jews are going to go back to Israel, and if they don't convert to Christianity, they're going to get yeeted to hell or some shit. That's the apocalyptic ideology at play here. So, folks, there's two wars going on. There's one overseas that we started, and one here at home. Which is, I think, by war he just means people don't agree with the president and his warmongering policy.
You're pretty smart about politics.
I don't know. I'm fucking skeptical of that.
You managed to win an election in a very tough state, especially for a Republican. But the optics of this are so bad, with terrorist attacks going on and Democrats refusing to fund the Department of Homeland Security.
This is political theater. We have two wars going on, really. We have one going on with Iran right now, where we're stamping out a terrorist regime that has killed Americans for decades, blood on the hands of thousands of Americans. But we also
blood on the hands. Oh, wait, that's not what you meant, sir. That's not blood on the hands of thousands of Americans means we're the ones doing the killing, sir. But yes, blood on the hands of thousands of Americans, I suppose.
home. As you said, 4 terrorist attacks in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We had an attack on our cyber network of strikers. So this is all growing.
On cyber, we had an attack on the cyber.
And when the Democrats say they don't want to fund ICE and Border Patrol, it's already funded.
Well, then, wait, they don't want to, it's already funded? I mean, funded for like currently, sure, but like it's the fund, they're voting on more funding. I don't know, the airports are fucking shut down. There's like fucking problems. This is this is all insanity. So this is weird. What does Trump mean by take Cuba? And this is a fucking ghoul Senator Rick Scott going to answer a question about Trump saying that I guess we're going to take Cuba, but he's if you could imagine probably going to lie.
But when the president says take Cuba, what do you think he means by that?
Well, what I hope he means is that we're going to get a democracy where the people of Cuba pick their leaders. That would be, I mean, it's a beautiful island. Actually, I served there for a few months when I was in the Navy at Guantanamo Bay. So it's a beautiful island, wonderful people. A lot of people are in, as you know, in Florida, especially Miami. And so there's an unbelievable opportunity there for the people of Cuba. So that's what I hope happens.
Oh, we're going to give them freedom. They're going to get freedom. The thing is, though, like the way this works, if we were to overthrow Cuba and then like they fucking have an election or whatever, and then they elect some fucking leftist that the United States doesn't like, we'd just fucking depose that motherfucker too. That's how this goes, man. Just leave them alone. Cuba is over there minding their own fucking business. This guy doesn't know the difference. This is Transportation Secretary Duffy, and he doesn't really know the difference between the TSA and ICE, it appears. This is just a funny clip. There's nothing really that interesting here, except he's just getting his government agencies, his 3-letter agencies confused.
This year, ridiculous. That was, but Democrats, what they really want is they want TSA agents to take their masks off, right? TSA agents don't want to wear masks. And by the way, Democrats spent a couple of years during COVID mandating that we all wear masks. Now they want TSA agents to take them off. Well, why is that? They want them to take their masks off so they can dox the TSA agents.
You fucking dumb fuck.
The agent, but go after their spouses, go after their kids, and put political pressure, protest outside their homes. And I mean, that's untenable for a law enforcement agent who's just trying to do the good work of the American people, getting folks who broke our laws out of the country, enforcing our laws. And so, Democrats have suggested body cams. I think President Trump has said he's okay negotiating body cams, and some other requirements that Democrats have asked for the agents. The president, who is a negotiator, is willing to compromise with them. But there's some things that go too far where we don't want to risk the lives of agents because radical Democrats want to attack them. And I think that's the fundamental point in disagreement right now between the Republicans and Democrats in the Congress.
Nobody's doxing the fucking TSA agents, dude. This guy I know he means ICE agents, but it's just so funny that he kept saying it over and over again and didn't correct himself. Yeah, I don't know, man. A TSA agent would have to do something real fucking rude to somebody for them to fucking dox the person who, like, I don't know, scans your luggage on your way to the terminal. This is Representative Ralph Norman, Republican of South Carolina, on the plight of the ICE agents. They've got it real tough. Things are real difficult out there. It's hard on a goon squad member.
And they don't want them deported. They don't want ICE to let them do their job. You got to remember, ICE agents were assaulted. They were up. The assaults on ICE agents were up in Minnesota 1,500%. They have families. They were doxxed. Their homes were, raided by these, the agitators. So raided?
What? Whose home was raided by the agitators?
With them, they ought to be thrown out of office, to be honest with you. I hope the public will remember this because this is very important.
Poor goon squad. These are public employees. A lot of this stuff is like public record. It's not really doxing to when someone works for the government. There's like transparency laws around this. Ooh, Kash Patel went to Congress too. There was possibly a lot of clips about this. Wait a minute, this is a Tulsi clip. Oh well, whatever. Again, I didn't have as much time as usual for the docket. I think this is a Tulsi clip. I don't know how this ended up here, or maybe she is there with him. Anyway, this is probably Kash Patel. Actually, let's see.
Turn and the subject of elections to a paradoxical thing. You will all be aware that the U.S. government is apparently going to grind to a halt. The president is going to sign no more bills. The Senate will spend 2 weeks apparently debating the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act, of course, would make illegal foreigners voting in U.S. elections, which is already illegal. So we are to do no more business because of apparently the existential threat to our democracy associated with foreigners voting in our elections. I am therefore puzzled by the fact that neither the unclassified nor the classified threat assessment makes any reference to risk or danger associated with foreigners voting in our elections. Director Patel, how many non-citizens have been convicted of voting in U.S. elections in the last 10 years?
The conviction stats are with the Department of Justice. I defer to them on that.
You are the director of the FBI. Give me a guess. How many convictions in the last 1 year, 5 year, or 10 year? Ballpark.
I don't have that with me, sir. Again, it's with the department.
You don't have that with, okay. Director Patel, how many active investigations does the FBI have into foreign individuals voting in U.S. elections?
We have a number of
A number? How many? I don't know. A number.
Generally speaking, ongoing about individuals across the country.
Yeah, I'm asking for that number.
I don't have
This guy doesn't fucking run the FBI. This guy just like flies around with his girlfriend.
me, but I have a number of them.
You have a number of investigations. Okay, is that number 10,000? Is it closer to 10,000 or closer to 10?
It's probably somewhere in between.
Well, that is a pretty big range. He'd be like 473. Are there 400s? Just start naming your favorite numbers. Are there 666?
Please provide the committee with that number.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Director Patel, since you don't have the numbers, would it surprise you to know that the Heritage Foundation, which is not exactly the Columbia University Faculty Lounge, found only 77 instances of non-citizen voting in the 24 years between 1999 and 2023, each of which faced investigation by the appropriate authorities. So Heritage has a number of 77 examples in 24 years. Does that number surprise you?
No, because it's low.
I don't understand your answer.
You asked me if I was.
Are you disputing that the number is in the range of 77 examples of non-U.S. citizens voting in U.S. elections in a 24-year period?
I just said that number is low.
You think that number is low? Okay. So why?
Oh, yes, that is a low number when there's fucking, like what, 350 million Americans, 77 over 24. That's a very low number. Good job, Kash Patel. You know the proportionality.
A meaningful issue. Do we have and I guess I direct this to Director Gabbard, why is there no mention of this thing that will grind the American government to a halt for a 2-week period in the worldwide threats analysis?
This annual threat assessment was shaped around the national security strategy's prioritization of threats to our
that no answers. I like Kash Patel was like a number. I mean, sure. That's like when you volunteer stuff that you don't have like full information on, you might be like, oh, there's a number of investigations. I actually don't have that information with me. I'll get that to you. He just was like, it's a number. When asked like how many, it's so crazy. This guy was like, I don't think he's running the FBI. It's just like, he seems to be just like trying to impress his girlfriend, which I mean, I don't know. Maybe that falls under don't knock the hustle. Who knows?
How many days before we invaded Iran did you know we were going to launch an invasion?
We can get into those details on classified setting, but I work with my colleagues.
Wait, why is it classified fucking for you to tell us how many days before you knew like that it was? How was that fucking classified? You just go 4. If you go a number of days, you could just use the same fucking answer you used last time in the last clip. Just go a number of days.
Spectrum here to give me advance warning so that we can reinforce.
Was it 2 days, 3 days, a month?
It was sometime before that, sir.
Sometime before.
Oh, he did it. Oh, it was some amount of time. It was a number. This guy.
With that knowledge, why did you fire at least a dozen agents in Counterintelligence Unit 12 that specializes in Iran counterintelligence, which makes us much less secure and safe with this war going on from Iranian?
He's like, actually, it was after that. It was a number. It was a number that would have put it like after that.
Acts potentially against our country.
As I said earlier, Congressman, I don't work on timelines when these terminations occur. There are internal investigations conducted by the careers at the FBI that highlight unethical or inappropriate conduct, and it's up to me to make the decision. But our Iran Threats Mission Center has never been more resourced. As I've highlighted, a 43% increase in counter-espionage arrests from Iran alone, and 360 ongoing terrorism investigations with Iran-affiliated individuals.
And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not familiar. Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is great. He's like, a couple people have been like, so far, sir, you're the director of the FBI.
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
The FBI. There were a number of them.
Were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards.
Was the ethical violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
Motherfucker's like, I'm not the director of the FBI. You are. You should fucking probably know this more than I do. But it seems like the dude asking the questions about it knew more about it than the fucking Kash Patel did. I don't know shit about it. That probably means I know more about it than Kash Patel. He somehow has negative knowledge about the things that are happening at his own agency. So up next, we got Trump met with the Prime Minister of Japan. And here's just a couple of clips. This one's fucking so crazy. This one, this first clip here is, this might be the craziest thing this guy's said to like a foreign leader in, I don't know, we'll go with like a week and a half.
Japan and US are very good friends, but one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia like Japan about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us.
Oh my God. At least he didn't be like, you know, remember when we surprised you with a fucking 2 nuclear weapons? Because that would have been the only fucking dumber thing you could have said right there. Like, oh my God. Here's more. He's just going to ask the Japanese prime minister now if the person who asked him a question is like one of the good Japanese or one of the bad Japanese. Oh no. This poor lady that had to sit through this would like take this guy seriously in this fucking disgusting golden room.
On the Strait of Hormuz.
Thank you.
Please.
Mr. President, you just mentioned Japan.
This looks like one of your people right here.
Thank you.
Is he good or bad? Good. Is he a good reporter or bad? You know?
So.
Not a, all right, he looks like a nice guy. Go ahead.
Mr. President, you just mentioned Japan is stepping up.
Oh, that poor lady, dude. Imagine, like, I don't know. I mean, you know, you're like the leader of a fucking nation and you have to like sit there and fucking like deal with this guy. It must be fucking infuriating because the guy, you can't really fucking like make fun of him or talk back to him because he might just decide to fucking bomb you. So this is Press Secretary Leavitt talking about the SAVE Act, which is probably not going to pass. But I feel like if it doesn't pass, I think the president is going to try to do an executive order about the stuff around the SAVE Act, and then it's going to like get tied up in the courts. But who knows? Who knows?
The Save America Act has 5 simple requirements as requested by the President of the United States. Number 1, voters have to show ID to cast a ballot in an American election. Very simple. 90% of Americans, including more than 80% of Democrat voters, agree with this. Number 2, the Save America Act will require all voters to show proof of citizenship in order to register to vote in American elections. Again, this is popular in...
So you would think that, like, it would be the government's job to verify that you're a citizen, right? You would think that this would be it would be the government's job. The time that you register, they would verify that you are a citizen. But no, I guess you got to do it yourself.
Rooted in common sense. Only American citizens have the right to vote in American elections. But after Joe Biden and the Democrats allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens into our country, it's more important than ever to ensure that only American citizens are registering to vote on our nation's voter rolls, and Congress needs to pass this. Number 3, the Save America Act abolishes the incredibly unsecure practice of universal mail-in ballots, which throw the door wide open for fraud. Importantly, the Save America Act maintains exceptions for Americans to use mail-in ballots for illness, disability, military, or travel reasons. The bipartisan 2005 report of the Commission on Federal Election Reform, chaired by, of all people, former President Jimmy Carter and former Secretary of State James Baker, concluded that, quote, absentee ballots remain the largest source of potential voter fraud.
Largest source of potential voter fraud. So that, like, what, that doesn't mean anything. Remain the law. I don't know what that fucking means.
Time for Congress to finally address this. Number 4, the Save America Act permanently bans men from competing in women's sports.
Wait, what the fuck does that have to do with voting? Hold on. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, what? What? I mean, it's not funny. It's hella bigoted, but they're like, I don't know, we should just throw some fucking bigot shit in here while we're at it. Maybe that's why it's fucking a little harder to pass than you want it to be.
President Trump signed a landmark executive order upholding the promise of Title IX and ending this dangerous and unfair practice. But now it's time for Congress to codify this into law. Number 5, the Save America Act bans transgender mutilation surgery for children. Again, President Trump signed a common sense executive order to do this and kept his promise to the American people, but now Congress needs to do the same and codify it. It's well past time for Democrats in Congress to stop perpetuating the radical and false claim that you can somehow change a child's sex. You cannot. Passing the Save America Act is the most important thing that Republicans and, frankly, Democrats can do to strengthen election integrity and protect our democracy. It's what the American people elected Republicans to do, and they must deliver on it as soon as possible.
So there's very, 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 very few, vanishingly few instances of any surgical interventions for trans or gender nonconforming people under the age of 18. But they just threw it in with this. I don't know, maybe they threw it in with it thinking that they could use it as like a bargaining chip. Go, if you pass the stuff that makes it harder for people to vote, we'll take out the anti-trans stuff and we'll do that as a separate fucking bill or something. But that's not going to work. That's not going to work. This is really dumb. I don't like when stuff like that gets put into like one bill. Like, just generally, it's bad. In this case, the bill itself is really stupid too. So here is more on the Save America Act from the Larry Kudlow show. Let's see if he is also hammered in this clip.
We're going to offer thoughtful amendments, things that the American people overwhelmingly agree with, and make Democrats take vote after vote after vote. And again, these things will not be controversial. These will be things like voter ID, like proof of citizenship. We'll probably even throw in some non-election related items like biological males shouldn't be.
Yeah, we'll just throw in some other stuff.
Competing against our little girls. And we shouldn't be mutilating little children on the altar of transgenderism. So I'm not sure everything we're going to add, but what we need to do is make sure we pass amendments that we can pass with Republican majorities, hopefully all 53 of us. That's the game plan, because then that'll put the focus on Democrats, make them explain, why are you opposed to something that the vast majority of American people support? And that's how you win the political argument. And by winning the political argument, you just might get this thing passed in some way, shape, or form at some point in time.
So I don't think that the majority of Americans support the SAVE Act as it is written, and like not for nothing, like your identity and your citizenship are confirmed at the time of registration. Like here in California, you register and they find out that stuff when you register. That's why you don't need to bring proof of citizenship when you go to vote. The other thing about this SAVE Act is that I don't think that all of the stuff they want to do could be implemented by the election. But I think that's kind of the fucking point too, right? If all this stuff can't be properly implemented by the time of the election, that just means that the states where they don't have the resources to get everything together for people to get proof of citizenship, marriage certificates. Like there's some counties where the office that you would go to for this kind of stuff is open like 1 day a week. And so like the idea here, I think, is just to prevent people from fucking voting. It could backfire on them though, because the places where it's harder to do this stuff are like rural places. It would be probably easier for me in the Bay Area or whatever to get any proof of any of this stuff than it would be for people in rural areas. But who knows? Here's a list of things that you need an ID to do now. The first one, more from Larry Kudlow. Larry Kudlow has been big on the docket this week.
You need an ID to adopt a kid. Okay, there's God's work for you. But you can't have no ID for voting? Really? The heart of our democracy? There's stuff that I don't get sometimes, Senator Tuberville. I don't get it.
Well, Larry, you're fired up today. I love it.
By fired up, you mean wasted? Yeah. You need an ID to adopt a kid. Well, yeah, they fucking need to know who you are, I suppose, if you're going to have a kid. But again, they verify your citizenship and who you are at the time of registration. Actually, you need an ID to have a kid. I don't know if you know this. Not to adopt one, but just to have one. I don't know if you know this. The fucking sperm and the egg, they fucking card you. They're like, are you real? Are you a citizen? Can we do this? Can we do this fertilization thing?
Against voter ID, I mean, you have to have voter ID or you have to have an ID to get a six-pack. You have to have it to give blood. You have to have it to have a child, and you have to have it to get married. This is a common sense thing.
Well, yeah, they want to know who you are for the last two things, and yeah, like you show your ID for getting beer because it's a 21 and over product, but they don't they look at your ID and look at you and make sure it's the same person, but they're not they're not checking to see if you're a citizen or whatever. And again, they verify your identity at like the time of registration. You can't shovel snow without an ID in New York City. The fucking shovel, actually, I don't know if you know this. The fucking shovel is like, excuse me, do you have an ID? I need you to show me your ID. I can't shovel without an ID. Oh man.
I am here today to say that if that is your argument, let's drill down on that. Because you can't rent a home, you can't go to work, you can't shovel snow in New York City without an ID, and you can't get into John Ossoff's campaign event. So I'm pretty sure as we look to try to achieve the American dream, whether that's getting insurance, whether that's getting a car, whether that's signing your kid up for school, you need an ID.
You don't need an ID to shovel snow. I think people, if you were shoveling snow, people would just be like, thank you, I think, for shoveling snow. They're not going to be like, hey, you got a license for that fucking shovel? Oh, no. So here's the Assistant Secretary of War. He was asked at a hearing about deploying the military at polling places. This is wild, dude. The military doesn't need to be at the military is like off on some fucking errand in the Middle East right now. So I don't know. Maybe they'll say it's a good idea. Let's see.
I want to remind everybody who's listening to this that U.S. Section
592 and 593 criminalize both having troops at the polls and military interference with voting, conducting elections, or election officers. And so I'd like to ask the question that he didn't get an answer to, which is the midterms are in November. Will you collectively, representing the people who help decide where our troops are from North and South America, will you commit on the record before this committee that the Department of Defense will not deploy military personnel within sight of any polling places in November of 2026? Mr. Humeyer.
I'm not aware of any such direction that's coming, but I reserve the decision based on the president.
But sir, if the president told you to send troops to the polling places, would you do that unlawful act?
It would go through the same review process that we get from every request that comes from the White House. That we have legal compliance, we have lawyers, we have an
But there is a law already established and court history that says that it is not legal to do this. So
can't speculate on.
You're not willing to say.
And I can't speculate on what can happen.
In general, I keep hearing your name pronounced differently, Gio, I think. Would you commit that you will not send military troops to polling places in November?
Congresswoman, I'm aware that doing so is against the law, and I will not follow an unlawful order.
Thank you.
Oh, shit, this guy's about to not be a general anymore. He's a fucking woke general.
Appreciate your honesty and your lawfulness. General Donovan.
I commit to the same, Congresswoman.
Thank you. I very much appreciate those straightforward and forthwith answers, and I hope, Mr. Humeyer, that you take a look at the law and follow it, a lawful order. I will.
Trump's going to fire those two generals for sure. He's going to be like, those generals are woke. Not putting the military at the polling places is too woke. Up next, we got a palate cleanser. We got two palate cleansers, actually, courtesy of Ali Drew in the Discord. This first one is Doggo Best Friends got reunited after just a week apart, and they seem incredibly happy. So it's been a while since we've put palate cleansers on the docket. So it's it's been a week, so we may as well watch these doggos. They're so happy. Those are the best doggos. And now we have another palate cleanser too, because we've been not doing palate cleansers lately. So there's an event in Taiwan, and 7-Eleven had their mascot in the event in Taiwan, and it was a little bit windy. And it was like one of those balloon. It was like a balloon mascot. It was a little bit windy, so the mascot got blown away. This is fucking amazing. I love this clip. Fly 7-Eleven mascot. I had to check like 5 times to make sure that shit wasn't AI, but that wasn't AI. That's fucking funny as hell. Fucking mascot. You know what though? That mascot's living their best life with their newfound freedom. So we got Rand Paul. Rand Paul does not seem to like this Markwayne Mullin character very much at all. There was a hearing to confirm Markwayne Mullin as the to replace Cosplay Christie, and wait, no, it wasn't to replace Cosplay Christie. Oh yeah, it was to replace Cosplay Christie, and it didn't go well. Rand Paul does not like Markwayne Mullin. I don't think, because I think this is personal. I think there's something else going on here other than just like him not liking the guy's politics. Something else going on. Maybe Markwayne Mullin fucked Ron Paul's wife or something. Or Rand Paul. Sorry, Rand Paul. I keep getting my racist Pauls mixed up.
Infection in the space between my lung and chest wall. I spent a week in the hospital having the infection lavaged every 6 hours through a chest tube. Recently, Senator Mullin, if you have time to listen, you were confronted by constituents that were angry because you voted against my amendment to stop all funding for refugee welfare programs. Instead of explaining your vote, to continue these welfare programs for refugees. You decided to transfer the blame. You told the media that I was a freaking snake and that you completely understood.
Oh, yep, this is personal.
I had been assaulted. I was shocked that you would justify and celebrate this violent assault that caused me so much pain and my family so much pain. I just wonder if someone who applauds violence against their political opponents is the right person to lead an agency that has struggled to accept limits to the proper use of force.
Yes, that's probably absolutely the right person to fucking run the DHS, at least according to Donald Trump. Yes, that is, yes, this is a violent agency, yes.
Being confronted by your constituents. But Senator Mullen, your constituents are justifiably upset with you. By now, most of America knows that the Somali welfare fraud in Minnesota stole over $9 billion. But instead of defending your vote, you took to continue the vote to continue these refugee welfare programs. You chose to lash out at me. You went on to brag that you'd already told me to my face that you completely understood and approved of the assault. Well, that's a lie. You got a chance today. You can either continue to lie or you can correct the record. You have never had the courage to look me in the eye and tell me that the assault was justified. So today you'll have your chance. Today I'll give you that chance to clear the record. Tell it to my face. If that's what you believe, tell it to me today. Tell the world why you believe I deserve to be assaulted from behind, have 6 ribs broken and a damaged lung. Tell me to my face why you think I deserved it. And while you're at it, explain to the American public why they should trust a man with anger issues to set the proper example for ICE and Border Patrol agents. Explain to the American public how a man who has no regrets about brawling in a Senate committee can set a proper example for over 250,000 men and women who work at the Department of Homeland Security.
Oh, we didn't get the answer. Sometimes that's one of the things I don't like about these clips is that sometimes they're too short. But here we got more. Rand Paul does not fucking like this guy. But if this guy said, "Oh, I understand. I knew why that guy beat him up. Like he got beat up by his neighbor." That's like, even if you believe that, I don't know. Maybe don't fucking say that. Like you're a senator. Don't fucking say that shit. Like I'm not fucking a big fan of Rand Paul, but I wasn't like sad that he got beat up or anything, but I wouldn't run around being like, oh good, Rand Paul got beat up. No. Don't beat up Rand Paul. And don't tell your constituents that it was good either. Especially like in the face of all this other stuff where they're like, oh, the left is politically violent and they're doing all this violence and stuff. You're out there saying all this stuff. But now you're like saying that it was good that this happened to your colleague. Pretty weird. Here's more of Rand Paul's questioning of it says Honorable Mark Wayne Mullen on this. I don't think this is an honorable man.
In the days after the fight, you did many interviews in which you justified the violence as historically justified by precedents, such as caning and dueling. Is it today your opinion that the caning of Charles Sumner was not only justified, but argues still for resolving our political differences with violence?
What I was simply pointing out is some of the rules that still apply to this body. For instance, dueling with 2 consenting adults is still there.
No, it's not. When was the last time 2 fucking... No, you can't just go shoot each other. Like, it's illegal. What is he talking about? What was the last time 2 fucking politicians dueled?
I was pointing out what is
still illegal
acceptable.
For 170 years. There's no precedent for legal dueling. Even then, they fled the country. Do you realize that the man that beat Charles Sumner with a cane, he beat him till he was unconscious? You know why no senators intervened? Because his friend held a gun on the other senators, and he kept beating him until he crushed his skull. That's what you're insinuating is the precedent of the Senate, and that's what you live by. That is a very, very dangerous sentiment. After a half a dozen victory lap interviews.
What the fuck? This guy's like, dude, I don't know, man. There's times to just fucking not say anything. Or like somebody in chat just said, like, I don't know, you could just apologize. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Or, oh, I lost my head. Oh, this is not the kind of behavior that I fucking should be behaving in. But then like this, then having this guy like nominating him for a cabinet position. I think he got nominated for the cabinet position because of this stuff, because of his comfort with violence and that. because it's the fucking Department of Homeland Security, and that's a violent agency. So here's more of this exchange.
The pain was such that I could only sit up in bed by tying a rope to the foot of the bed and pulling myself up. But even then, the pain was that of 1,000 knives. Over the year of recovery, I began to cough up blood. I underwent removal of part of my lung. Complications led to an infection in the space between my lung and chest wall. I spent a week in the hospital having the infection lavaged every 6 hours through a chest tube. Recently, Senator Mullen.
Oh, this is the same clip again. Sorry about that, everybody. I don't usually do that, but yeah, he does not like him. We got one more. Hopefully it's not the same. Hopefully it's not another repeat clip, but like whatever. We're having fun here. Here's after the hearing, actually, here's Rand Paul talking to the press. Not happy. But to be fair, I mean, I don't love Rand Paul, but in this case, it seems like he's right. Seems like maybe I wouldn't want to put Rand Paul in charge of that shit either, but probably better Rand Paul than this Mark Wayne Mullen piece of shit.
I have an agreement now to go over to the classified hearing and hear about his classified mission that, hasn't been fully detailed to anyone. If that goes as planned and is forthcoming, I still plan on having the vote tomorrow.
Well, Chairman, are you planning on voting for this nominee?
I think there are anger issues. I think there's a lack of contrition, both about the violence that was perpetrated on me, but really the violent episode he was involved in the Senate committee where he's told the media, frankly, that he doesn't regret it. He's also told the media he said it again today, that there's historical precedent for violence, that caning and dueling happened all the time. And I pointed out, well, it was illegal 170, 200 years ago. They would actually flee and they would do it in areas they could find where the law didn't reach. Sometimes they would actually go to Canada. Sometimes they'd go from one state to the other. But the mass of civilized response, even in the 1850s or 1830s, was against dueling. That's why dueling was made illegal. The fact that he can't bring himself to say that, really we shouldn't settle political questions with violence, I think that would be a terrible example for ICE and for our Border Patrol agents.
I mean, that's fucking, what do you mean a terrible example for ICE? That's exactly why they want him running DHS and ICE.
We're in the midst, I think, of a crisis where there needs to be more direction from the top. And a guy who brawls, a guy who can't even say he's sorry about, wishing violence on me and really applauding the attack that happened on me, can't come to say that. I don't know how he could, from my point of view, be a leader of ICE or Border Patrol.
So that's
counterpoint, I think that's exactly why he's I don't perfect for ICE, at least in the eyes of like the Trump administration, right? Because he is comfortable with violence, he celebrates violence, and ICE is a violent organization. So here's more from the Mark Wayne Mullen hearing. Just asked again, would you obey an unlawful order from the president? And these people all sidestep it by basically saying, well, that's not going to happen, right? The president wouldn't give me an unlawful order. Although those two generals earlier kind of stood up or stood tall and were like, no, I wouldn't do that shit.
I'm going to start with a question I have asked every one of the president's nominees. If directed by the president to take an action that would break the law, would you follow the law or follow the president's direction?
Senator, thank you for the questions and thank you for the concerns. First of all, I've enjoyed working with you on several different issues. We've had very blunt conversations. To answer your question, the president would never ask me to do that.
Well, certainly everyday Americans who have served on juries would disagree with you about that. And the example he has set calls into question that answer.
So,
Let's
Senator,
move, sir.
yeah.
I have limited time, as you well know.
Oh, the president would never do that. Or if they may as well go as far as to like, well, when Nixon said, well, if the president does it, it's not illegal, which is sort of what the fucking Supreme Court said, actually. So whatever this is, it's classified. It's classified. This is did you go on a trip to this place? It's classified. I don't know, man. The comings and goings of these people should be public record, not classified, because these people, this was a senator, not like a fucking spy, right? This shouldn't, whatever he's talking about, if it is classified, it shouldn't be.
Ever an employee, volunteer, or otherwise involved with the Department of Defense, State Department or other U.S. agency or contractor for any of those departments?
No. And Senator, I think there's a misunderstanding here that I could clear up if you want me to clear up for you.
Please.
Okay, so, which this is this is official trip, and it is classified. But in 2015, I was asked to train with a very small contingency and go to a certain area, which was scheduled for 2016. During that time, I was asked to go through, had to meet certain training qualifications, certain qualifications, had to go through SEER training. The training and stuff was kind of fun. The SEER training was absolutely awful. And I have spoken in general about my experiences, but I've never spoke specifically on details, on dates, or on the mission. And that was official, and there was nothing in the report to the committee. Actually, it said you do not have to claim any official trips. And like I said, that was an official trip that is classified.
This is an official trip while you were a member of Congress?
Yes. 2015, 2016, I was a member of Congress. Some of it may be public, but it would be very small. Most of it, because of my recollection, which we're going back 10 years, I think there was only 4 people read in on it.
So where was that trip?
I just said it's classified, sir.
It's classified. So the letter that we sent to you said that we need to have information of any of these activities.
It said not official trips. Your paperwork was very clear, excluding any official trips. This was an official trip as a member.
Well, we have more questions we're going to have to ask. When in the FBI report, I asked, is there anything in that report that is classified, that you were involved in any kind of classified operation at all? And there's none. So
it was
the FBI
also
report,
excluding, it also said excluding official duties. It says that. And you guys had the paperwork in front of you, and it always says excluding official duties. We had this committee come to us and ask the same questions. We talked about doing mission work. We talked about doing mentorship. But they said official duties that was in your official capacity does not have to be talked about.
So where did you smell war?
Sir?
Where did you smell war? Who is this guy? It's a good question.
And the dates, locations, and admission, I've never spoke specifically details about.
Well, we can get that information.
That's fine.
Mr. Chair.
You're welcome to get it.
We will want to find out more information about that.
That's perfectly okay,
It's important
Senator.
to have the truth here, and that you're portraying yourself in a truthful way.
I don't know why it would be classified. Like if a member of Congress goes on a trip as part of their capacity as a congressperson, I think that should be public, because it's not like, I don't know like what they could be doing. Like what is he like? Is he a spy? He wouldn't make a very good spy. This guy is super classy. He's gonna get emotional about I guess his wife or whatever. This guy's weird. Here we go.
To be able to have the love of my life behind me, somebody I literally fell in love with in 3rd grade. I knew I was going to marry her in 8th grade. She didn't know that yet. We had to work through that process.
Oh, that doesn't sound great.
But at 18 years old, and I was 19, she agreed to marry me. I didn't have anything. I was on a wrestling scholarship, living in a dorm.
I was on a wrestling scholar. That sounds like you were doing pretty. Actually, you were on a wrestling scholarship. That sounds pretty good. I don't know. Being on a scholarship at a university. That sounds pretty good, actually.
He was cheering at Northeastern State University. I think she fell in love with my truck, because my truck was pretty cool. But
I didn't have anything except like a cool truck and a wrestling scholarship. So, look, there should be like a country song about that.
We didn't know what we didn't know, but we did know we loved each other.
We didn't know what we didn't know. There's known knowns and unknown knowns and known unknowns. It's fucking, that was fucking super creepy. He's like, I don't know. She didn't know that we were going to get married, but we had to work through that fucking creeper shit. Some people call that stalking. So up next, this is Joshua Himes, and they're going to pray for God to kill James Talrico, I think. That's what it seems to be here. So, you know, like Jesus would do. Very, very Jesus-like. This guy is a fucking massive piece of shit. He just came up on our radar like a couple months ago. This guy is a giant piece of shit.
Public enemies, these are the orcs at the gate. You are not called to love the barbarian horde that is planning to break into your city and, you know, pillage, plunder, rape, and mutilate you and your people. Right. You don't love that horde. That is your enemy. And you pray. This is where you have imprecatory psalms. This is where you pray strongly. The psalmist is not shy. God, destroy them. Make them as dung on the ground. Right? So, but Madison and I were talking about that. And so I say, even in the debate, I think you might have seen it, but that I had on campus the other day, I pray that God kills him. Ultimately, that means killing his heart and raising him up to new life in Christ. That's the first thing.
We want him crucified with Christ.
That's exactly right.
What the fuck, dude?
Saul of Tarsus, Talarico of Tarsus.
Yes,
that's what I want. Who would say, "I was holding the garments while they stood."
This other guy on this thing is like, "Whoa, man, you got to hold on. We got to hold on, man. I don't want to be on here like calling for the death of a fucking potential senator here."
And now I'm that's what we want.
Yes, we want death and new life, right? And if it would not be within God's will to do so, stop him by any means necessary, oh God.
Oh God, that's so. They're like straight up calling for violence, right? I don't think these motherfuckers believe God is going to kill them. I think that they think somebody else is going to do it, right? That's what this language is about. It's about sort of getting people, giving people the idea that maybe God should kill him, and you know by that they mean somebody. So before we get out of here. Before we go into red light, I want to just everybody, Afro Man is the real First Amendment fucking warrior that this country needs. It's not Barry Weiss or fucking Ben Shapiro or any of those fucking weirdos or Sam Harris or fucking Eric Weinstein or fucking Elon Musk or anybody. It is Afro Man. He is the First Amendment hero that we all need. And I do believe the Media Wench is going to be checking out this like a lot of clips or maybe entire segments of this court case tomorrow night on the channel here. But here's just a sample of what happened.
What they did, searching your house, gave you the right to do everything you
Under the circumstance that I got freedom of speech, after they run around my house with guns and kick down my door, I got the right to kick a can in my backyard, use my freedom of speech, turn my bad times into a good time. Yes, I do. And I think I'm a sport for doing so, because I don't go to their house, kick down their doors, flip them off on their surveillance cameras, then try to play the victim and sue them.
You were at Lisa Phillips's deposition, correct?
Yes, sir.
In your lawyer's office?
Yes, sir.
Same office where you filmed part of that video last Friday?
Yes, sir.
And you saw how upset she was when she was answering your lawyer's questions about how this had affected her, right?
Yes, yes.
And you saw your attorney say, do we need to take a break?
Yes.
And you saw her say, no, let's go on and get this over with.
Yes, sir.
You saw all that.
Yes.
You knew she was upset.
Just like she knew I was upset when she was standing in front of my kids with an AR-15 with her hand around the trigger ready to shoot me. Just like she knew I was upset when she cut my cameras. But I'm not a person. She is. So I'm sorry.
Fuck yeah. Fucking Afro Man from the fucking top rope, dude. Fuck yeah. This guy, this rules. This fucking rules. He's so good. This is going to be so good. Everybody make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the Media Wench. She's going to be going over as much of this trial as she possibly can tomorrow night. This is going to be really good.
The predators.
Okay. So you saw all that. You saw how upset she was. You heard the testimony about her children. You heard the testimony at the depositions about Randy Newland's daughter who came home upset. You heard all that, but you're still posting stuff about it.
Yeah, because I understand it was Randy's fault and all of their fault for coming in my house in the first place. So if they hadn't came to my house, their children wouldn't be saying nothing. None of this would be going home if they did their research and did things right. So all of this is their fault. And now they want to sue me for their mistake.
Is there anything that could change your mind about what you're doing to these deputies?
Is there anything that can change my mind about the fact that they shouldn't have been at my house in the first place? Is there anything that can change my mind about how my money shouldn't have been touched in the first place? No.
That's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Hell fucking yeah. Dude, that shit, yeah. He's like, I don't know, man. You come to my house and fucking under like false pretenses and fucking point guns at my kids, and I have video of it. I'm an entertainer, and I'm gonna use my platform to fucking come back at you. Yeah, make a music video about you. Fuck yeah. I think that's pretty cool. Instead of doing a diss track about another fucking rapper, he's doing a diss track about the fucking cops. Fuck yeah. I love it. I love all of this. And again, everybody make sure you're checking out the Media Wench's coverage of this tomorrow night, because she's going to do a great job. She has patience to sit through things like depositions and like court cases where I don't necessarily have the patience for that stuff. But that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. That's why we work together so well. She does things that I don't do, and I have the patience to sit through fucking things like Sam Harris videos. So, we get in where we fit in. So everybody, thanks for checking out the show tonight. If you're listening on the podcast, make sure you check out a live show sometimes. We're live, 4 or 5 nights a week at Echoplex Media, or twitch.tv/Echoplex Media. Support this project at patreon.com/Echoplex or eplex.live. While you're over at eplex.live too, get a membership, buy a hat. Buy 2 hats, buy a hat and a membership, whatever. And everybody watching live, listening live, stay put. I'm gonna change the color of the lights here and grab some beer or something, and we're gonna go into a red light. See everybody on the flip side.